Hi, happy Friday. It's December 20th, and I'm doing my second to the last intuition video of the year. I've been doing these all year. Been kind of brainstorming like, what do I want to do for next year? I think I'm going to focus on authenticity. I don't know if I'll do videos. I may do that. It's really helped me to stay focused. But anyways, I want to focus on right now, like the sense of responsibility, really what we are responsible for in our life. And we are 100% responsible for our life. And that doesn't mean that outside stuff or traumas or things can happen that are very unfair, because that is my first reaction to that. When I read that in the book that I'm reading right now, was like, yeah, well, a lot of crap has happened to cause A, B, and C. But when I go further into this, what the responsibility I'm talking about and what she's talking about, Marie Forleo, who I quote in this, really is talking about, I am responsible for what I believe. Even if those beliefs were passed down to me and not mine, I am responsible for identifying what my beliefs are and either getting rid of beliefs that I don't want anymore and replacing them with what is truly authentic to me, or developing my own beliefs. So that's number one. I am responsible for what I believe. Now, if you're wondering, like, I don't really know what I believe, well, there we go. That's the first step, is to really start like wondering and thinking and writing and looking into like, what are my beliefs? There's a lot of beliefs passed down to me through the family. I'll use one example of money. The overall general belief in my family around money is that money doesn't come easy. You have to work really hard for it. There were a lot of ideas and beliefs. Money is for other people. Money is not for us. There were a lot of ideas and beliefs around money that I don't want. They don't work. They're not true for me. And I've watched them not work for my family. So they're not my beliefs, but it's my responsibility to understand what my belief is, or where I picked that belief up. Now, most of our beliefs are handed to us. Like, we're kind of spoon-fed those when we're kids in the behaviors of the people around us. But as adults, we can't just blame that anymore. It doesn't mean we don't look at it. It just means that we have to then be able to look at our own beliefs. Okay, so we're responsible for our own beliefs and what we believe. We are responsible for how we feel. That is a whole other one. Now let me talk about this, because there's a lot of people who will say to me, well, I feel happy all the time. That is not normal. Like, that probably is normal, but it probably isn't healthy, is what I would say. Being happy all the time is not feeling. That would mean to me that underneath there's some feelings that have not been permitted to be felt. So we are responsible. I am responsible for how I feel. So I am responsible for identifying it. Okay, and so I had a really kind of interesting moment today where I was trying to really practice identifying like my feelings about something. And there's a few feelings that like are not that easy to identify. And have been kind of in a little bit of fear, which actually is a feeling, right? Fear is a feeling. It's a natural, healthy feeling that's to wake us up, to tell us and let us know that we need to pay attention to something. And so I was having a little bit of fear around work. And then all of a sudden, I had this other feeling, and I identified it pretty clearly and pretty quickly as self-doubt. And I'm not very good at the self-doubt one. I have been kind of trained in my family to not accept certain what would be considered negative feelings. Like, we just don't talk about those. We don't look at those. When we go out and we pretend like we're fine, and we get out there and work hard, and so those have been a little more challenging, but it's really important for me to be able to identify what the feeling is I have, so then I can release it, talk about it, write about it, do what I need to do to move beyond it. It doesn't get stuck with me. So we're responsible for what we believe. We're responsible for how we feel. And I've talked all year about this emotional intelligence is really where we're moving into. I really believe this. I was talking to someone last night about it, that we are evolving into this place of emotional intelligence. So if I don't know how I feel, or I think I'm always happy and that's the way I'm supposed to be, or maybe we only feel like anger or a couple of emotions, there's a wide range of healthy emotions that as humans we are designed to feel. And what we do is we learn how to shut them off. And when we shut those off, then we cannot hear our intuition, and then we cannot follow our intuition. And then life just doesn't seem to flow. We're not happy. I really believe we're meant to be here in well-being and joy. And that's my goal, is to continue to work through that. So I'm always looking at my beliefs. I'm always looking at, okay, what is this feeling? Like, why am I feeling this? And you kind of work through it. The third thing is that we are always responsible for how we behave. That is driven by our beliefs and our feelings, really. So if we don't know our beliefs, we don't know our feelings, it's really hard to have control over our behavior. And so we are responsible for how we behave. Now, we are watching everywhere in our country. If you're paying any attention to what's going on in politics right now, sorry about that, you can watch what's going on in the Senate and Congress. There's a lot of misbehavior. It's just all over the place. We're watching it individually. We're watching a lot of differences, a lot of divide. And I really, really believe that doesn't really matter. What matters is that we take it back to ourselves and that we really look at our own beliefs, our own feelings, and then be able to have responsibility over our own behavior. And sometimes that responsibility over our own behavior for me is not showing up to something that's really not that healthy. It's holiday time right now, my intuition a lot of the times in the holidays is to be with people that I really feel comfortable being with. And there are some people I don't feel comfortable being with, but it's the holiday. And so there's the expectation that you do that anyways, but that I'm responsible for. And so I'm responsible for my behavior and my feelings. So I am going to choose intuitively what is the right thing for me and my family. And I think it's really important, and it doesn't necessarily mean it falls into line of what we should be doing in our holiday season. So those are the three main things. And I add on to that too, that we are then responsible for listening, clearing away, as any of these things that block us from feeling, or clearing away those old beliefs, clearing away all of that gets in the way of us hearing our own intuition, and then clearing away the fears and the doubts. Now, believe me, following your intuition, this whole year focusing on this, and I've been doing this now for 9 years, literally focusing on following my intuition, has never gone 100% without fears and doubts coming up. And that's the biggest challenge. The biggest challenge is when fears and doubts pop up. Oh, I can't do that, or whatever that voice is. The challenge is then to stop and try to clear that away. Now, meditation really works well for me. Writing really works well for me. What doesn't work well for me is to try to force something to happen when I'm in fear or doubt. That is an opposite that I learned. I used to watch people in my family, my parents, all the time, in fear, anger, and doubt, try to go out and fix something. It never works. So I know by watching what didn't work to try something new. That's just how I've learned that. So for me, it might be stopping what I'm doing, maybe go take a 15-minute meditation, maybe it's to take a walk, maybe it's to go do yoga, maybe it's to write. Shift that brain activity away from that fear and doubt in the moment. Sometimes you have to work a little bit harder on it, and then go back to it with much more of a clear purpose and a clear hearing and vision of that intuition. So wow, this has just been, I can't believe we're at the end of 2019. School is out on break. It's going to be a great couple of weeks. I hope for you. Hope you have a great holiday. I'll be back next week with my last intuition video of the year. So I hope you enjoyed it. I hope that this helps any of you who've been watching, who are really working on following your intuition. And so prayer and meditation, prayer could be writing, prayer could be, I'm not a religious person, I've said that over and over again, but I do believe in a universal spirit, something that guides everything and everybody. I think they call it pantheism. I was told that about 2 years ago when we were in Canada. Drew calls me a panther as a joke. It just believes that there is an energy in everything and everybody that is moving through us all, and that's where I come from. So I hope you have a great night, have a great weekend. Check in with those beliefs, check in with your feelings, and of course we are 100% responsible for our lives and ourselves. Take care. Talk to you soon.